Data Analysis Project, Voter Turnout in Canada. Introduction and the Dependent Variable. An analysis of factors influencing voter turnout across Canadian provinces in the 2025 federal election. The dependent variable, the voter turnout rate. This is a key indicator of engagement, and its variation between provinces makes it an ideal subject for investigation. Analyzing it reveals the health of democratic participation across the different regions and allows you to test what factors might be related to it. Independent variables, age demographics, the median age of the population in each province. This measures whether the population is generally older or younger. There is a strong and stable correlation between age and voting in Canada. Turnout consists increase with age. For instance, in the 2025 election, voters aged 65 to 74 had the highest turnout, while those aged 18 to 24 had the lowest. You can hypothesize that provinces with a higher median age may have higher overall turnout. Education. The percentage of the provincial population aged 25 to 64 with a university degree and a bachelor's level or higher. Higher levels of education are often associated in increased civil engagement and had a greater likelihood of voting. This variable can also connect to other social economic factors. This slide shows my voter turnout rate percentage with my two graphs that I made and the central tendency and the spread. This one shows the median age with the median age in years, my two graphs with its central tendency and spread. And this one shows the education rate and percentage with my two graphs and central tendency and spread. Identifying the influential point. I began by calculating residuals for each province in both models. In this age model, PEI had the largest residual at 10.25 percentage points, meaning the model predicted 66.75% turnout based on its median age, but actually turnout was 77%. The next largest residual was only negative 6.11, making PEI's residual larger than any other province. The original model with PEI showed turnout equals 31.75 plus 0.79 times median age, with a correlation of 0.50, explaining 25% of the variation. After removing PEI, the new model became turnout equals 28.90 plus 0.83 times median age, with correlations improving to 0.57, explaining 52 of the variation. The slope increased and the correlation improved, revealing that PEI was actually weakening the age turnout relationship by pulling the line upward. Without PEI, the relationship appears stronger. Education model. The original model showed turnout equals 75.51 minus 0.39 times education rate, with a weak negative correlation of negative 0.28, explaining only 8% of the variation. But after removing PEI, the relationship disappeared. Turnout equaled 65.06 minus 0.025 times education rate, with correlations dropping to negative 0.03, explaining nothing. This reveals that the original negative relationship was almost entirely caused by PEI's unusual combination of low education and very high turnout. Interpreting the age relationship. The relationship between median age and voter turnout is best classified as a common cause relationship, not direct cause and effect. Severe underlying factors explain this correlation. First of all, generational effects. The baby boomers generation grew up when civic engagement was strongly emphasized and had to maintain high voting habits throughout their lives. Second, life stage factors. Older populations have had more established careers, home ownerships, and community roots, giving them greater stake in their communities and more time to follow political issues. Third, political socialization. People who form voting habits during their youth tend to continue voting throughout their lives. These factors work together to create the observed correlation, but none represent a direct cause link where age directly causes voting behavior. Interpreting the education relationship. The relationship between education rate and voter turnout is best classified as accidental. The correlation is weak and negative, which contradicts established research and logical expectations. Without PEI, the correlation disappears entirely. There is no plausible mechanism for higher education to cause lower voter turnout. Examining individual provinces confirms this randomness. Ontario has the highest education rate, but only a moderate turnout. Alberta has the highest education, but the lowest turnout. And New Brunswick has the lowest education rate, but a relatively high turnout. These patterns confirm no systematic relationship exists between education and voting behaviors at the provincial level in Canada. In conclusion, this analysis demonstrates the median age has a moderate positive correlation with voter turnout, operating through common cause factors rather than direct causes. However, education rate shows no meaningful relationship with provincial voter turnout. The weak correlation was driven almost entirely by the unusual case of PEI. This reveals that provincial voter turnout is influenced by demographic factors like age, but other unmeasured factors including community, civic culture, and provincial political systems likely play a more important role in determining whether Canadians exercise their right to vote.